This band? I like this band. I wrote it down so I don't forget who they are. Oh, I remember. Fucking Slayer! This was one of my favorite guests, a returning guest. She's part human. She's part gargoyle. She's out there going on stage, shaking it, thrashing, bringing you everything you want out of music. You want a cock lobster? She's got it. You want a cock on the cob? She's got it. She's got everything cock related in the music industry right now. And fucking Kelly Clarkson is her trap center, and we gotta get her out there more because she's dominating the world. She's Vic The Gargoyle. She's from R.S.I, retained surgical instrument. If you don't know that, you must have an instrument stuck in you. Maybe it's stuck in your brain. You better be following her on all platforms. Go out and see that show. It's one of the best shows I've seen multiple times. Her energy can't be matched. It's brutal. It's sick. It's always a good time. Vic The Gargoyle, glad to have you back.
It's great to be back.
Sick, sick, sick. Last I saw you, we were up in Boston. It was you, Frog Mallet, Bonganada, Trash Panda. What a sick show that was. Insanity. Craziness.
Oh, hell yeah. That was such a fun lineup. I was so honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you were right in there. I mean, you were doing it solo when you jumped on there with Bong. Everything was crazy. You were just a natural stage presence. It's a force of nature when you get on stage.
Thank you. I have fun when I do it.
Sick. And I was lucky enough to announce Frog Mallet that day on stage, and I had a blast doing that. I had my Luigi chant going. I was a little out of control, shaking my ass. I know if you're shaking your ass, out of respect, I need to do that. I can't be in a venue where you're showing those moves and just stand there like some boring asshole.
Oh, absolutely. All are welcome.
All are welcome. Such a great show. A lot of things. I am seeing you everywhere. I am seeing tours. I'm seeing you on me. I just put you Zombie Edition on my arm. That way I know it all time. It even has a little yellow, so we know the famous shirt that you make as well at the venues, the I Love Cock. I've got to copy it there. I would have been wearing that, but I just got these tattoos 2 days ago. I don't want to feel anything on anything, and I wanted to show them off. Tribute to you, to Erik, to the New England death metal FunTime Bonanza.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be so sick this year. We just announced a massive headliner, you see?
Massive. I couldn't believe it. When I saw Mortician on that post, I'm like, you got to be how? Like, you guys, how did you even pull this off?
Oh, my God. Keeping that a secret was so hard because, they were the band that introduced me to, heavier music. I went from Pierce the Veil to Mortician.
Wow.
Which is hilarious. There's always bands in between those when other people's trajectory, but oh my God, when Erik got that email that they were like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
I flipped out. We're still geeking, honestly.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, and the Bonanza is a great time all the time. And last year was unbelievable. It's just, I remember talking to Erik, and I remember him saying this year there's going to be bigger bands. There's going to be he was determined to make it happen, and it happened. And now this is the springboard to year after year as this thing's going to gain more and more credibility. You have a band like for me, now I went into them the slower way. I started with my Alice Cooper, Black Sabbath, then my Megadeths and Slayers, Cannibal Corpse. Still had to lead up to Mortician. I remember getting House by the Cemetery when that came out, that CD, being old school here, 47 years of metal knowledge and intensity. And that changed me forever. That changed me as far as how brutal music can get and how much I can handle. That was insane what that album was for me.
That's so sick. You were there.
I was there. It's even sick when I see all this stuff with Bobby from Pentagram, where that's all over the fucking internet. And I'm like, I was buying those albums in the 90s. I was 17 in 94. So I went to I bought Be Forewarned right in there. And I'm like, I've been living this, and it's great to see it coming back. It's so nice to see it coming back.
Oh, I bet. And I'm glad it is too, just have this resurgence of all these bands that have been around for a while, Acid Bath's coming back around.
So sick.
great time to be alive in metal.
It really is, because you know the ups and downs. It's either years like this or there's just nothing going on. And it's just like, I wish this could happen, that could happen. Acid Bath, I am so psyched. I get to see them this year. I'm going to go to Louder Than Life to go see fucking Slayer, of course. I have to do that. So you can only imagine I'll be out of my mind. I feel bad for everybody at Louder Than Life because I am going to lose my shit when that band hits the stage.
Loudest at life. Let's see.
Loudest at life. I'm going to steal that now when I do a TikTok. Loudest Than Life. Last I saw you, like I said, you killed it on stage. You were on a big tour. How did that tour go? How many states were you in? I think you went all the way out to California, and there was problems over there too. Nothing went easy, it seemed like.
Oh yeah, let's see, because I have the flyer still on my lock screen. So yeah, we went all the way to the East Coast, and I was Bonginator's tour manager for the tour, and Bonginator and Frog Malice LD for the tour.
Sick.
So yeah, we started in Boise and kept going west all the way to California.
Crazy. Crazy.
And back around.
How did you feel? Were you nervous about it? You know, is there anything you could recommend to people when you take that leap? I mean, that was a big leap, this tour, and how you get prepared for it.
It really was. The longest I've been on tour was 2 weeks. And that was with R.S.I. and Scissor Hash.
Yep.
We played in like Detroit, Canada area, basically made a circle around there. And that was great. But 5 weeks was very intense. And I think my biggest advice would be to just pull the trigger and do it.
Okay.
I work in venues and I have coworkers that tell me, oh, they want a tour, but they're scared. Closed space, long time, don't see friends or family, And I try to explain to them that when you are touring, you don't necessarily think about those things. It becomes second nature to you. And at the end of the day, it always becomes worth it. Like, you just can't be so hesitant. If you have the opportunity, if you have the chance, literally just do it. Drop everything and go.
Right. I mean, that's great advice. Sometimes we have to separate from things, right? We hold on to things too close, and we have to understand things are just going to keep happening. You know, our families will be okay. Our friends will be okay. Everybody, if we weren't here, life goes on. And it seems like that's the kind of attitude you take. You just go in a separate world. You're on tour now. That other world's not there till you come back to it, right? You just got to just leave it, let it be. That's great advice.
Absolutely. Like, take off of work, struggle for a day or two. It sucks, but it rocks. Like,
nice. And that's the thing, there's the payoff, right? It's not like one of those things that you're doing in life and you don't, the payoff is there. You're going to hit the stage every time. You're going to have a great time no matter what. And it looked like you guys were pulling in some crowds too.
Oh my goodness, yes. To see how far Bonginator has gone since I was there day one, you know, taking rips for like or whatever on Bandcamp. And to see how far they've become was just so sick. And the fact that I was able to do their lights for these massive shows. And Frog Mallet too. Like, I've known them for a minute and they've always been amazing. And to be able to see them play 30 times in a row was awesome.
So awesome. Yeah, both bands have just, I mean, I feel like every 6 months they turn into this new Titan. Like, just where you think you've seen everything on stage and the energy and just things they overcome and what goes on up there. And I'll say that with both of them, with Sean and Erik, right? They've that show, there was some issues. There was some stuff going on that we all saw each other last, but everybody got up there and just did what they had to do and delivered. And that's what's so sick about getting on stage, right? Like, I love that you get up there and nothing matters anymore. You have that connection with the audience and your music. What a feeling.
Absolutely. I still get awful stage fright, I guess. It's weird to say out loud, but I do. Okay. Leading up to the show, it's hard to talk to anyone. I ended up like fidgeting a lot, pacing back and forth. Literally up until I have the mic in my hand. Yep. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
It's one of those things too. I've even had to learn where you just got to give people space, right? You may think someone in these bands, they're ignoring them, like, you don't know. And I'm just saying for myself, going on stage a few times in the last year, like, I get it where you just got to be in your zone. And I saw it with you. I did see when you're in there, and you're still trying to be, you know, nice where you can and everything, but you're in your zone, and people got to respect that zone, because you're tempted to be like, I'm standing right next to this person. Let me keep, but the stuff going on, and then you get on stage. It is funny to hear you say you have any stage fright, because you literally get on stage, and I'm like, she's been doing this for 30 years. Like, it's just so, seeing you time after time, you just have it down, and you just flow great. I love your crowd interaction, and they love when you're leaning over and you're grabbing people, and everybody's just like, you're jumping fucking stage, diving and crowd surfing. It was crazy. Every time she does it, like, no big deal. Nothing. Doesn't matter.
It's just fun. You don't think.
Yep.
Brain off. Play your heart out. I love it so much. I'm so excited to tour again. I'm going on tour again.
So sick. I saw you doing some dates with Self-Absorbed, right? The Mighty D Vicious.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Because R.S.I did so well with the dates we played with Bongator and Frog Mallet and Trash Panda. Love them.
Awesome.
That we were like, all right, we got to hit the road again by ourselves. And Self-Absorbed was the first band I thought of. Because, like, I didn't want to do it, like, by ourselves. I wanted to, like, tour with somebody that, you know. I was like, duh, Self-Absorbed. I love them so much. D rocks, Pat rocks. Amazing performers. Their merch is gorgeous. And their music is literally insane. So we got 7 dates with them. And that's going to be wonderful. They are coming to New England. We couldn't get a Mass or Rhode Island date, but we will be in Maine. We tried, but to no prevail.
Yeah, sometimes things just don't line up. It's great to see both of you, though, just getting out of your comfort zones, right, where you're doing more local. Even watching the growth, it's going to be so sick seeing everyone at the Bonanza, where it's like a full year. Because if you look at the growth of everybody, we all, you know, we've all done different things, and we even look different, and we just got different vibes going on. And the one thing I noticed with all of us from that event is the confidence levels. The confidence levels are going, like, just skyrocketing. And I mention that all the time to people on my podcast, or people I'm talking to behind the scenes, is that Bonanza. Like I told you last time, I was fucking nervous. I hadn't gotten out of it. Now I'm obnoxious, out of control, as you know. But at that time, I was a little nervous. And you're just like, it was so welcoming. That you were like a lifesaver. The second I saw you, I was like, all right, no panic attack, no tachycardia, we're doing good. Because I'd be doing shit, having a panic attack, and I'm like, the madman's being wacky again. No one would even fucking help me. I'd be having convulsions, and they're like, he's doing a skit. And I'd be like, no, I'm having an attack here. But you got me so calm. And it was such a calm vibe, and just Erik checking in on everybody. Anyone Erik knows, you just see him go up to everybody. You having a good time, everything going good, everything going okay. And I think that's where the importance of people getting out and being around people where you have so much in common. It may be different music styles, you may look different, but you all have the same vision. You're all trying to get there together.
Yeah, there's like a Venn diagram, but at the end of the day, you know.
Right? And you and D really bonded there. Like you could just see that connection happening. I remember all of this. And now all of a sudden you're both going on tour, and it's a natural thing. And you guys need to do like a song and a video together. Like that would be fucking crazy.
Yes. I have plans. She doesn't know it, but I have an idea. R.S.I is working on an album, and we're tracking currently. I think after tour, I'll be able to track vocals. But yeah, no, things are happening. We even have our artwork. I'm so excited.
So sick.
I shouldn't even be talking about it, but I'm just so excited.
It's okay. Hey, it's good to let some of this stuff out there, and we'll get some hype building, and then it holds you accountable. You got to finish that album. You got to get everything out there.
Exactly.
How is that process? How is the writing process? Is it all on you? How do you go about it?
Ben, our guitarist, is our main songwriter.
Okay.
And it kind of just happens that way. Yeah. He'll write a song and send it like, check this out.
Nice.
And my response is no notes. It's perfect, you know?
Amazing.
Because it is. He's amazing. He can write for any genre amazingly, and he's wonderful to have. And our drummer, Nick, he's a producer, so that's
Nice.
taken care of.
Yep.
We'll be tracking live drums.
Amazing.
I don't know. This is kind of just the dream team.
It seems
And
like
then
you have
Ron
everything where you need to be.
too. Yeah.
And then your stage presence. You know, it's one thing to do the album. Album's going to be amazing. All your songs are fucking lit and just great. But when you, the whole key, as we know, besides getting out, which you are getting out there, you're just nonstop touring, which is, it's so sick to see. It makes me so, so happy. And you're just going to watch you get bigger and bigger and bigger this year. Like, just good things are going to happen from that. But you need that stage presence. Everyone could execute up there. There's a billion bands that play great, but just don't have, they're just missing that thing up there. And guys, when you go see R.S.I, trust me, it's a trip. It's fucking, she's dancing like she's in a club and you're hearing the most brutal fucking lyrics and fucking riffs in your fucking life. Everyone's going insane out there. She's going insane. And it's just great to watch all the time. And when this album's complete, it's going to be great to hear all the material. Because like I say, every time I see you guys, it's amazing. And you just had some cassettes come out too, correct?
Yes. By Hall of Horror did them for us. They're
Nice.
amazing. And we even put Cock Lobster on them.
So sick.
Yeah. We plan on releasing it on streaming platforms soon.
Nice.
Maybe after the tour.
I will say it's a minor frustration of mine. Anytime I want to hear that and I have to go hear Rock Lobster, which is a classic. I mean, how could you not love Rock Lobster?
Yeah.
I listen to Rock Lobster. I may have had, 5, 10, 20 edibles. I don't know what I was doing that night. And I was soaking in that fucking energy, Vic. I was like, this is crazy for whatever year this was, like 70-something. That energy, that the manic insanity, which I love, like, and I know you're up there fucking being crazy. It's just great to feed that energy. And then you took that song. My point was, like, you took a song that was already on a scale of 1 to 100, and somehow you got above that. How did you get, like, I mean, first of all, how did you get the idea, and how do you fucking perform like that on stage? Like, that is, I'm like, does she need a break after each song? Because this is kind of psycho.
Well, I jokingly said one day, so Rock Lobster, what about Cock Lobster?
Nice.
And the guys thought that was funny. And then Ben, wonderful,
So awesome.
sends a demo like within the next week.
Yep.
He was like, hey, I've been working on this. I was like, okay, wonderful.
Amazing.
So then I learned it, and that's it. We just learned the song because we would just think penis funny. Anytime there's like a joke we can make, like it just happens. It's not like we're like, let's see, what's the next like a penis joke? It's just,
Yep.
I don't know what it is. It just kind of happens. And he made this amazing cover, and we all learned it. I buy a guitar from one of my coworkers at one of the venues I work at, just because I've always wanted one.
Yep.
That's it. I had no plans for it, especially not for R.S.I.
Right.
But then the guys were like, you need to play this for Cock Lobster live. I was like, I don't know. Then eventually they were like, come on. So
Nice.
I learned how to play Cock Lobster on the guitar, and it's so goofy. I love it so much.
It's so fun.
Yeah, and the crowd seems to love it too. I might incorporate it more.
Yep.
But as far as like performing it and just performing in general and the energy I have, I run.
Okay.
I guess more often than not.
Yep.
Just to help with my lungs and whatever. So that when I do perform, I don't like pass out or anything.
Yeah.
So I can be as crazy as I want. And I'm training to be even crazier than before because I think
How
could always
is
take
that
it.
fucking possible?
I don't know. It is because like when I'm like on the treadmill or whatever, I'm like, I could have done that.
Sure.
Just think about other ways to have just like taken the performance a step further.
Nice. I know that 1,000,000%. That's anytime I do my stupid videos, like I'm always like, oh, I could have brought it up to another notch or another notch. I was gothing in the rain before. I had some Halloween black makeup on my eyes. I could see it vaguely still. I never get all the makeup off enough, but What I was gonna say was when you talked about being on stage, I was on a few times. Like I said, a few bands have asked me to go up there. I love it. It's my favorite fucking thing to do. I have so much fun up there. But that day was, the people I went with I went downstairs to go to the first show, and then there was the second show upstairs with all of you. I didn't have a drink that whole time. I had nothing to drink, right? And it was so fucking hot in that venue. It was so fucking hot. I'm upstairs and I'm like, I need a drink. One of my followers is like, I'm on a Madman, and comes running back with like some water. But I'm still like overheated. I'm overheated. I get on stage. I have the fucking beanie on, and those lights were just like beating on me and beating on me and beating on me. And when I got done, like I wasn't done, but I had to be done because I'm gonna get fucking sick. I could feel it. I was like, I got off stage, and these followers like, that was fucking awesome. And I'm like, I'm just trying to like hold it together for a second till I get another drink of water. And I was like, I didn't know that was possible up there. That's when I see you move up there like that. How fucking hydrated do you have to stay to be? I mean, you're doing a full fucking workout during that set.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm also a trained dancer, so I guess
okay.
Crazy movement is just, well, not crazy, but just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like brain turn off as long as you hydrate plenty before.
Right.
Because some people would try to hydrate like during their set. That's not how that works.
Okay.
Night before, morning of. That's when you gotta, And if you're not feeling super up to it, then some electrolytes.
Yep.
For coconut water. I don't know. It just, and like I said, like the running and the cardio, that helps a lot.
Yep.
And I even ran a few times while on the road, but ultimately you got to be good at conserving your energy.
Right.
So you could have the breaks of being crazy, but nothing beats a power stance with eye contact.
Yep.
Incredibly effective.
Nice.
And underrated. Like if you're doing a crazy performance and you need a break.
Yep.
My advice to performers is to just never look down. Constantly be invested, and anything will look great.
Amazing. I mean, that's good advice for people to know up there. I mean, you do need a break at times, right? You could have gone too hard and just like time out, whatever's going on. Have you ever had an issue when you're up there with the crowd where maybe everybody's having a great time, but maybe one or two people are just sitting there stone faced and just, we don't give a shit? Do you lock eyes with the people? Do you kind of try and look above or below most of the time? Or how do you handle that?
Yeah, I try to like never look at them again. Like,
no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like I'll notice like, I mean, if they're just like chilling, like not everybody can go like crazy mosh and stuff. I get it. I know how it is. I work in nightlife. But if they genuinely look like they're not enjoying themselves, that's on them, not me. But I try not to give them the time of day because the show is obviously not for those guys.
Yep.
If they don't want it to be. It's for everyone else. So I had to learn how to do this because I wasn't always able to, but I had to shift my focus to the folks enjoying themselves, even if it's one guy.
Yeah. Right.
Because you always got to give 100%. You can't half-ass your performance if somebody doesn't like it.
Right.
And I used to let that get to me to where I would just basically give up, throw in the towel,
right,
do less crazy moves, avoid eye contact the whole time, look down and whatever. And that doesn't work. It's a bad look, and you just can't go anywhere career-wise when you do that.
Yep.
It's easier said than done. It took me years to figure that out. But with R.S.I, with the wonderful team I have behind me, I have so much fun that it does get easier to ignore those kinds of crowds. But
Yeah, and I mean that's great, and that's why I always love talking to you, because you get really in depth, and you can hear you're bringing out your experience in that story you just told. You know, and it's like I had asked too, because that had happened to me when I was going up at first, and I like all these people having a good time, and I just saw this one person just like was not happy. And I know I got a special brand of humor. I'm talking about fucking everyone's moms and such. I understand it's gonna not be for everybody, but like. I made sure the second time I did it, I'm like, do not do, because I was like just fixated on that. And like, I literally, everyone was like, oh, so sick, blah, blah, blah. But all I was doing when I got home was like, I sucked. Like, what did I do wrong up there? Like, oh, I should have done X, Y, or Z. And then the second time I kind of like, I was just like, I wasn't looking at anybody. I was kind of like looking above everybody. And then the third time was at the Palladium. So I started getting super fucking powers, like, and I didn't give a shit. And I was just like, I was loving it. And then I did it the fourth time at the Palladium for Slapnuts. They headlined that night. And it was like almost, fucking filled up there. And I was like, I was just feeding off that energy. And I remember this one woman just standing there, though, crossed arms, did not like shit I was saying. But that time didn't even faze me. Like, I just like went right through it. And I was like, oh, you beat it. You beat it. The first time, devastated. Vic, I was like, I'm never going on stage again. Fuck MetalMadMan. Like, I got that toxic with myself.
No, first of all, congratulations on that trajectory of focusing on the people that matter the most, which are the people that care about you.
Yep.
Because that shit's hard. But no, I remember, like, I cried the first time that, like, it wasn't like a dud show. It was genuinely, there was a few people who just hated what I was about.
Yep.
To the point where they just, like, rolled their eyes and left.
Wow.
And I just, like, I cried. I was like, what's the point? This is dumb. Maybe it's because I'm shaking my ass on stage, but it's like, that's just who I am. Right. Whatever. But then I got over it because of the few people that care so much about what I do.
Awesome.
Like how you got people coming up to you saying, like, that was so sick. Like, I don't know about you, but I just had to, like, replay that in my head over and over.
I did. Yep.
If I'm doing this for anybody, it's going to be that one person that liked me a lot. Like
such good. It's such good advice, and it really, if you can take that. So again, I'm 47, so I've been around with a bunch of stuff and scenarios, and I watch how I handle everything different now. And that goes like that in life too. If you have someone around you that's bringing you down or what you believe in, right? Because we have two different worlds where we work and then where we're performing and doing all this stuff. They don't always mix. And it's like, I've learned if you're not going to support what I'm doing, I just don't need you in my life. If there's nothing, if you're going to, because sometimes even the people that you thought were friends, right, they're making snide little comments or, doing this or that. And you're just like, man, I really like doing this. And it gets in your head and you let it play in your head. And I've learned if I get those people out, they're done. Because the other people around me, like I get depression every winter and I have my group of people and just people even I've met through the scene that there's so many people that go through this stuff that nobody knows about. And to have that support group and be like, it's all going to be okay. And like, we're going to get out there and fucking tear it up. The weather's getting better. But such great advice you just gave about that. Because if you fixate on that negative energy, your performance is going to go down. You're going to doubt yourself. You're not going to have that passion anymore. You're not going to go on a tour like this. You're going to, I don't know if I could do it. So that's great growth. That is awesome.
I mean, and it's easier said than done. Like, I still have my moments. Like, I also had a rough winter. I haven't posted on TikTok in I don't even know how long.
Right, it's been a while.
It's just, it's hard. Especially with TikTok, because, like, with your outreach, it could go to, like, everyone in America or the world. So it's like, I mean, you get it. So it's like, I'll get back on it, though. I used to do, like, random things Vic knows, like medical history or, like,
I remember.
Random Victorian tidbits. So, like, I will be making those again. I got some new books from Goodwill, but no, it's back to the negative energy thing. It's easier said than done, and I'll have my moments where I do harp on those really shitty people. But once I get out of it, it's just like, I don't know, gotta grind. Going on this tour.
Yep.
Working on new music. Just doing it for the one person or the three people who DM'd me. Thank you for doing what you do. Because as a femme in the genre, you're not afraid to express yourself the way you do or something. Those people, those girlies, are why I won't stop, no matter what.
And that's good to hear because you are a role model for that, you know, and as time goes on and your growth keeps getting, you know, bigger and you're getting stronger, the newer people that come in need people, you know, because it's a harsh world. And like you said, if they're surrounded by people that there's no one that they could look up to, you're going to give up because that's the easiest thing to do every time. Just give up, right? You just walk away. I'm done now. I don't have to worry about all this. But then you have that regret your whole life. And I know what all of you go through. Like, that's why I did even a little episode of Metal Horror Madness here just about females in the scene and just everything that's going on. And because people love to say, well, look at you know, they'll make the example. Well, this band was whatever. And I'm like, that's 1 out of 1,000. And the shit they had to put up to get there is not the same the guys had to put up to get there. Ever. It's not the same. And just because things have progressed and the world could be, you know, seeing things better doesn't erase what has happened before and what's still going on. And I still see it. And we've talked about this before. I see it all the time still, where some people won't even, they don't want to watch a show, you know, oh, it's not a guy up there. It's not whatever. So what bothers me is people that like to pretend like that doesn't happen. You know what also just pisses me off is like when you'll see a guy, you know, targeting the pit and break a girl's nose or something like where you know they were like aiming and you'll see these people, well, they want to have equal rights. Well, they want to blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but you purposely targeted and profiled somebody. You're a fucking loser. That's pathetic. Like those people, I don't want around me. Like, if they're following me, stop fucking following me because that shit is not cool on any level. And that doesn't show growth. That shows you still being sexist fucking garbage, you know?
Yeah, that's assault.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's why you're so important. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important even when you're going on tour where it's you and self-absorbed. Like, we need more tours like that. We need more tours where maybe there'll be no guy front, you know, singing and the fucking on that tour. And that's the way it needs to be. And that's like the marketing could be great. And it's just got this empowerment thing to it. And I've been in the scene for a fucking while and I've watched it. I've watched where all my friends, you know, if there was not a guy singing in that band, they wanted fucking nothing to do with it. I never understood that. Like I remember L7. I was like tripping balls for L7. I'm like, this is the greatest fucking band ever. They're badasses. They're doing all this crazy shit on stage and not taking. But my friends, none of them would, you know, isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah. Because it doesn't mean anything. Because I've known people who would complain about, oh, I don't like the sound of her voice. But then they'll listen to like, man, I can't come up with a single example. Just like a male vocalist that has a very high pitchy, screechy voice or whatever.
Yep.
But the female vocalist, they were talking shit on. I swear to God, I have good examples. But it's just a double standard that like doesn't make any sense. I think that's a horrible excuse. That's dumb. Like if you don't like her voice or something.
It's all so dumb and childish, and you should just, first of all, if you love music, love music. You know, you're allowed to like different genres, you're allowed to like different singers, you're allowed to do different fucking everything. I love music, and that's why sometimes people will be like, well, guilty pleasure. I'm like, I don't have a guilty pleasure. Like I proudly love fucking Duran Duran and fucking Cyndi Lauper and shit. Like I live for that shit. So if you truly like it, why are people trying to, you know, put stuff in compartments or go immediately like, well, that band can't be good because of this or because of that? And I do like where I saw like in wrestling, it's really progressed where there's a pay-per-view coming to Mohegan Sun, WWE, I forget what it's called, but it's like only the females. I was like, this is fucking sick. Like this is like really, yeah, this is so fucking cool. And I like that. Like there's no, like back in the day, you know, girls, it'd have to be like a bra and panties match and all this stupid gimmicky, like fucking garbage. And that's too like where I try and say to people like, you fucking, yo, I'm a child of the 80s. Like if you were in a fucking horror movie and you were a girl, you're taking your fucking top off. Like guys, that's just the way it fucking was. Why do you act like everything's been on a level playing field all the time? It's not. And that's a lot of the problem with the whole fucking country and the world. You have to address how things happen and how you get there. And you can't just go the scene's not equal still, not even fucking close, but pretend it was. You still go, imagine though, like again, you're an actress in this being a horror movie. You've got to take your top. Like that's a prerequisite. That's it, or you don't get the fucking part. That's nonsense. That's ridiculous.
That's why I loved Hellraiser so much. It was ahead of its time.
I remember just talking about that last time with that shit. Hellraiser was so far ahead of its time, and yeah, it's just great because you're sitting here talking about seeing the people that we've talked about in the crowd that may not be feeling it that night, and a lot of it we probably also do to ourselves. We're overthinking that. They may just be whatever. They could be high as shit. Who knows what the hell's going on?
Exactly.
But you have you've overcome that. We've talked about before too, about being female fronted and all this other struggles that comes with. But again, what I try and tell people is I went to that show up in Boston. You were as good as anybody. That was fucking crazy. Everybody was amazing. I thought everybody had 4 great performances. But you were just next fucking level. The fucking dancing, because I get hyped for that shit. Like I start dancing around and fucking everything because it's just fun to be that aggressive and then take it out in dance moves as well. And you said you're a professionally trained dancer too, correct?
Yes. I did hula for a decade.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my family's Polynesian.
Nice. So and that's sick to hear then, like you put that on stage. Like that's what's so great about metal too, when you take stuff from your personal life and you put it up there.
All the hips. I was taught right.
Yeah, and it brings an energy and it brings fun. One of the bands that I love is Brat, and I love watching. I've watched Liz up there, like the fucking facial expressions. Like I love making stickers out of her, or memes or stuff in my videos and the energy she brings and the fucking intensity that she brings. Just another band out there, and incorporating the dancing. Like I fucking love that so much. That is my favorite shit. Yeah.
She grew up doing cheer, and it's just a part of her.
Yeah.
Like it's no thoughts, just this is how I perform. She's wonderful. She's one of my favorite vocalists, just of all time. Presence, just her vocals.
Yep.
Just in general. Her and her whole band, Olive Bread, amazing songwriters too. They're just, I think, one of my favorite bands.
They are so good.
And they're going on like bigger and better tours, and they deserve every bit of it.
I know. I'm psyched. I'm gonna go see him at Milwaukee Metal Fest. Like I fucking cannot wait to see him there. Yeah, I'm so stoked. When I had him on the podcast, we just started talking, and I flew once in my life to fucking Tennessee, and I'm like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna start going to all these places now. And when they said that, I'm like, oh, I'd love to party with them, like in another state. Like how fucking sick would that be? So cannot wait to see their set there. I love their cover they just did of Barracuda too. That was fucking really
sick. Wonderful live too. I was like, whoa.
So sick. And they're just breaking those boundaries and getting bigger and bigger. And there's R.S.I. right there as well, just like fucking building this audience and building these things. And do you have any nerves about going on this tour where it's like, it's you and self-absorbed and you're going to all these different states and there's a lot of shit going on there?
Yeah. This is like the first time R.S.I. is like, well, first of all, I booked like half of them myself.
Yeah.
And then self-absorbed booked a few. And then that Maine Metal and Hardcore Fest, I was DMing Mortis and they were like, we got spots on this. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So it really is like we are doing this from scratch, like ourselves and stuff, which I've done before, but like a weekender. Not an entire week going out of New England, like renting a vehicle and everything. And it is nerve-wracking, but like we said in the beginning, you got to pull the trigger.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it is going to be worth it, especially touring with the fucking Queen D. Like,
right.
It's very nerve-wracking, but we have people in every city that we are about to hit excited.
Nice.
At least.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're only going to drop one person, but like in the comments, we have at least one person super hype about every city. And so if we're playing the show for anybody, it's going to be that one person. So I am incredibly excited. I think it's going to be great, but the nerves are there up until the day.
Yep. What do you think? What's the biggest concern or haven't been on a tour, what's the biggest issue that you would, give advice to people to go, just make sure this is taken care of, because it could just fucking throw everything off?
Yes. There's a few things. I would say, as someone who has toured and worked in venues, I would say the relationship between you and the venue.
Okay.
So like punctuality, respect,
Yeah.
and yeah, so like loading out within a good time, not leaving a mess in the green room if there is one,
Right.
and being polite. Unless in the rare occasion they're gonna fuck you over, but that really doesn't happen
Yeah.
that often. If you hear about it, it doesn't happen unless you hear about it. But because that's how you get a good reputation.
Right.
It's not like the movies where you got rock stars like breaking shit and like tearing the place up or anything. It's if promoters like you, you get more shows. If the venue likes you, you'll be welcome back.
Right.
And respond to those emails, get to load in on time, because yeah, you're there to play a show and make an amazing impression with the audience and your fans, but that wouldn't be possible without the venue or promoter. So I think that'd be my biggest thing.
Nice. And that's really good advice, because a lot of times people don't think about that. They overlook that thing with the venues and just relationships in general. When you're in the industry and scene, it's just good to be good to people, right? It's good to be surrounded by good people, and it's good to be good to the ones you work with and help where you can, because it's just going to lead to better things, and good word of mouth does nothing but, spread everything for a band.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, because I've, like, again, working at venues, I've had bands hang out for like 2 hours after their set, and it's like, this sucks, I want to go home.
Right.
So, have your fun, do your thing, but do it like after loadout, like in the parking lot.
Right. Yeah, true. That's good advice also. So sick. And so you have that tour coming up, you're working on the album. Do you know when the album's do you have a release date yet?
Nope, but we are tracking. So it's happening. It'd be dope just to happen in 2025.
Yeah.
I think that's possible. I mean, we're already like, so we have plans and think the gears are grinding.
Nice.
It's the first like full release that I have ever released with any project. Other members have released full length albums with other projects. Of course, it's R.S.I's full length, but again, nerves. Let's go.
You always gotta fight them.
But yeah, exactly. So once I get more info, of course, I'll let you know and everything.
Nice. When you're recording the album, what is the biggest struggle there? What's some advice you could give to a newer band that says, like, hey, be prepared for this. It's not going to be, as easy as you think. Like, again, it's not a movie. You don't just run in there and everyone does it one take. We're done. Let's go.
Right. Communication.
Okay.
So talking to each member and even making a schedule. Like, all right, guitar is going to be, let's have you record on this date and this date.
Yeah.
Whatever, but it has to be done by this point because that's when we're going to start drums or whatever. That's what we're doing now. I'm going to be recording vocals the weekend of the 21st. I might have to reschedule that, but the plan is to finish guitars by that point.
Right.
So it's also being honest about, I don't think I can do this by this time, or I'm struggling with this, I might need more time, whatever. Or something came up, I have to reschedule. As opposed to just leaving each other out to, out to dry. But just being very communicative with your band and making a very good schedule.
Yep.
Yeah, because getting good, clean takes is kind of obvious. Just be honest with your band about what's going on, because at the end of the day, this is everybody's project. So.
And that's something that people lose sight of when you're working. Communication's a big thing with me as well, and just having people around you that are willing to communicate, because some people just aren't. Some people just don't want to. They want to do things on their own terms, or they want to make it like it's a party, it's fun. And when you produce any type of content, it means so much to you as the creator, right? Like it is your world, it's your baby, it's your everything. And the worst thing you can have is bring people in that are like, like I don't feel like doing it this time or this day, or I'm just going to come and go as I please, or just they don't see the vision. And it's like, that's okay. And if you're like that, you've got to step away. You know, you can't drag everybody down. But the communication I found with everything in life, if people could just communicate, friendships, relationships, things would be so much better. But for some reason, a lot of people don't like this. So it's great that you have a group that's getting back and forth and everyone's, synced together for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I brag about R.S.I all the time, like the great team that I have, because it wasn't easy to get.
Yep.
But no, I love people that I work with.
Nice. So sick. It is just great to see the growth. We got an album coming out. We got a tour going on. It's been great to have you back here. We could talk for fucking hours. I'm trying to keep episodes certain times because of the fucking algorithm. Everything's crazy in my life, Vic. But you're always welcome to come on as much as you want. I should have you on one time when we have another band on here, because your insights, and I love everyone I've talked to. It's just great meeting people and everyone's awesome. But when I ever talk to you, you have these insights and you have this passion and compassion. And it's something that's real. It's something that people can't pretend to have. And you just feel comfortable with you. And I appreciate the care you have for everybody, around you, for everybody in the scene, for your friends, for your family, for fans, for peers in the industry. You just have this presence where this is a good person. Be good to her. She'll be good to you. She'll be a guiding star for newer people in the scene that need to get to where they've gone. And it's comforting to have somebody so open. As you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve all the fucking time. So it's nice to meet someone else that also kind of does, where you could just kind of go, this is a real struggle. And I'm proud that I've had to overcome that struggle. Like, a lot of people don't get to overcome that struggle. So I can give myself credit. And like you said, things will keep popping in your head. Same with the Madman. I could leave a place and they're like, this guy is fucking crazy. This is the most confident fucking guy. He screamed that 7 billion. He's doing all this crazy shit. And then, you're in the fucking parking lot going, man, I fucked that up. Why didn't I do this a certain way? The band did something. I interacted. I could have done that better. And you got to, just like you said, you got to knock that stuff down. That's not real. That's not going to help you get forward in life. And you keep that positive energy, which you have, and you have transformed this into now, a fucking sick tour, a full-length album coming out, some of the best merch, the funnest merch I love to buy at every venue. The stage performance is next level. What else is in store for R.S.I this year?
We are planning another tour later
wow,
in the year.
Damn.
It's going to be longer, and we're going to go farther, and that's all I'll say.
Amazing.
And... well, the Bonanza, of course.
Of course.
I mean, nothing like it.
Nothing.
Yeah. That's
I mean, that's a pretty insane year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Bonanza alone is a lot those few days. That is for the New England Death Metal FunTime Bonanza. Everybody better be there this year. The sickest. You'll show up and be like, are we all going to be okay? And then you realize we're all normal people. We all love each other. We like to party. We have a good time. It is the safest place you could ever be. There's no tolerance for any bullshit there on any level. Feel safe, feel welcome, feel warm. See great bands, great vendors, great food, everything about it. There's nothing like it in the country. The whole vibe is crazy. It's just this, it's controlled chaos, and it's fun, and it's just something that, right, like, I can't even explain. You got to go experience it. And Vic is all over the place. They're doing wearing multiple hats, performing, just again being very welcoming, and making sure things are running good. Making sure Erik's doing okay because he's doing 8 billion things at once. We can't have him fucking his head explode. I cannot wait for this year. Last year was, like I said, one of the highlights of my life. It was one of my favorite things. Getting to meet all of you. Getting these connections with everybody, seeing us all grow over a year, seeing us all be supportive. And then this year's like, now we get the payoff because fucking Mortician.
Mm-hmm. And there's still another big secret band to be announced. I can't wait for you to see that.
Damn. Oh, wow. I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. It's going to be a great time. Vic, it's been a great time as usual. You're always welcome on here. Maybe after the tour, we'll reconnect again. You could talk about some of the highs, the lows, mostly highs, I know. You and Self-Absorbed, D Vicious, icon in the making. I always tell a Pat Absorbed, fucking sick, amazing guy.